What is up with it? Today we are back. We are going to be watching round 9 of the Hindenburg Regional. This is going to be two of the GOATs of the game, two Worlds competitors, Hervoye and Enrico. Two people who, if you told me not only will they qualify for Worlds, but they would win Worlds this year, I would not call you crazy at all. Both phenomenal players. Hervoye, of course, being on Emu, and Rico being on Ace, two friends of the channel. I had someone reach out to me and they said, yo, this game is crazy. You got to check it out. So that's why we are here today. Also, before we get into it, if anyone wants to sell me a full 20 set of 5 Elders arts, 4 of each of the 5, please let me know. Hook your boy up. I'm a min rarity warrior, but I love those arts so much. They are so gas. Gonna start with an Ezo. I'm grabbing a Whitebeard. I believe the hand was like Whitebeard, Red Rock, Pudding, Marco, I think was maybe the hand, something like that. So decent hand, some garbage in there, but also, Searcher Ezo, or Searcher Marco, you can't complain about. Here we saw on turn 1, we didn't get to see, but he pitched a Nejiro, which is an interesting 1-Dawn pitch because we are on the odd curve, so we wouldn't necessarily expect him to pitch that on the first turn. I'm guessing he probably drew this either for turn or off of that draw. Gonna go ahead and draw the Jupiter. Gonna go ahead and play Charlos, milling an event. I'm gonna be interested to see if Hervoye elects to swing on this turn or not. My guess is no, though I have not spoken to him about it, so I don't know his take on it. Yep, choosing not to swing doesn't entirely surprise me. I mean, this is a debated thing in the community on if you are supposed to swing on this turn or not. I haven't spoken to him about it, but it doesn't surprise me that he believes you are not supposed to swing here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and rest 3 Dawn for a Saturn. Makes sense looking at the top 5. So going to go ahead and search before leader skilling here. Probably happy enough with our hand. Okay, we have a couple hits here. Probably not grabbing the Jupiter. I'm thinking we probably will not be playing for a Jupiter on 9. I mean, it's definitely possible that we grab it, but we do already have one in trash. I'm thinking we're probably going to grab a Searcher here, whether it's the Saturn or the Shalria. And going to go ahead and put the Spell on top and the Jupiter 4th. Going to go ahead and pitch the Warkery. Kind of an interesting pitch. And I believe we actually have a Shalria in our hand. So we could go ahead and play that. Hervoye being very careful about exactly how he sequences this. This might be the final round of Swiss, and it's possible that this is to get into top cut. Some X2s will bubble out. We're going to go ahead and pitch the Saturn that we just grabbed. We're going to go ahead and go 6. Enrico wanting to know what the pitch off of Shalria was. Make sure you're very careful about that. I've personally had multiple Emu players attempt not to pitch. I hope that whenever anyone does that, it's not malicious and they just forget, because, it's basically the only searcher played that does something like that. All the other searchers, they just add to your hand. But gonna go ahead and go 7. I imagine we block this first one, and then the second one, if Enrico only goes 6, we might even counter. But if he goes 7, we'll just, of course, be forced to take. Leaving the Shalria on the board, no problem. It's not like the opponent could remove it in any meaningful way. Looks like we found, I believe, this might be our 4th Warkery. I think maybe we bottomed one before. I could be mistaken about that. But gonna go ahead and play down this Nejiro, finding it right on time, exactly the card we'd be looking to play here. I'd be surprised if we start with any action other than 5 to 4. I feel like that's a very reasonable action for us to take. It looks like we have a 10 cost, a Warcurry, a couple Shirahoshis, a Rad Beam. One more card in our hand that I can't quite perceive. It might be another 10 cost. I don't think it is, though. Oh, no, I think it is. I think it is. I think he has 2 10 costs in his hand. Along with these Shirahoshis, Hervoya is definitely set up to play a really long game. I'm guessing he probably is also identifying this. Okay, we're going to go 6. I'm guessing he also will be identifying that we're in a spot to play a long game. And he will probably be playing this fairly defensively. My one question... I'm actually a little surprised that he did not elect to play the Warcurry this turn. I mean, we imagine that the opponent's probably always going to play the Whitebeard, go 8-8 at this Nejiro, simply because he doesn't want it to kill the Yamato for free. I guess we don't have a lot to do with our Dawn next turn anyways. So I guess try and get in a couple 6s here makes enough sense. It could be a little concerning for Hervoye if Enrico decided to go at life instead. We would be forced to take a damage. But I do think Enrico is very likely to just go at the Nejiro. I don't believe we've drawn yet. I think he's thinking about whether to take the life. I'm actually shocked he's taking this life. Wow. I'm actually shocked he took that life. I'm going to be honest. I would not have on this 8 Dawn turn. Wow. Huh. That's really interesting to me that he took the life there. Because this is, I mean, I think maybe what's going on is he feels as though he can take this life and then he can push face and deal a damage here. Which he will deal a damage here. I think this is at life. Yeah. Hervoye, I think, kind of fainting that he was considering countering out of it. And we're going to take, grabbing the Rad Beam. I wonder... Very interesting to me that Enrico actually decided to take there. I am normally someone who is doing that more in the face of mini 8s. But I mean, being an AK leader is pretty broken, so I get it. This is a turn that Hervoye can't really go at your life anymore. Like, he's gonna probably start this turn going 5 to 4, and then Enrico is going to let that go through. And then I have to imagine that Hervoye gets 0 swings at life, which is, you know, it's a bit different than if we were just a 6K here. If we were a 6K here, Hervoye would get 2 swings at life. I'm actually not sure I'm actually in love with taking the life there as Enrico. I guess the fear is that he... I don't know. On this turn, I just don't think there's ever really reasonably some great swings at life anyways from Hervoye's perspective. I mean, you know, let's say he rests 3 Dawn for Jupiter. He's always going, you know, this into the thing. I mean, yeah, I think he's always sending this at the Yamato because he needs it to die. So we have 6 Dawn left. You know, he wants to put up a blocker for sure. So let's say we give him Charlos, right? That's 5 Dawn. He has 3 left over. He goes 1 here, 2 here. You know, that's still only 8-7. I mean, I don't think he has enough cards in trash for this to be a 6. So we block an 8. We give 1 card. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, Enrico, obviously a really, really phenomenal player. But I don't think this was a spot to take life. I really don't. But we're going to go ahead and sack our Saturn. Hervoye deep in the tank here. So I imagine that Hervoye is thinking that if Enrico is willing to take this life, he's probably planning on being a perma 8k leader. And he doesn't think this Saturn is going to get much value regardless. And he also knows that he has these Shirahoshis. He has... Okay, and here we go. We find a Shirahoshi. Yeah, I thought these were going to come up. Shirahoshi being really good in this matchup if you can find the spots to use them. Gonna go ahead and bottom deck a spell and a Saturn, which is going to be met by the discard. Oh my god, double Shirahoshi. Yo, double Shirahoshi here is low-key kind of schnasty. Because Enrico does have 1,000 cards in his hand. And he is gonna, you know... He's gonna obviously spend an Ezo swinging at one of these. Oh, and double Warcry is so good here. I really, really, really like this play from Hervoye. And I think it also kind of shows why maybe Enrico taking that life there just wasn't that good. Like, I don't know. When you do that, Hervoye no longer feels like he has to attach Dawn or be aggressive in a usual manner. God, I'm so sick. I almost want to, like, counter or free block, as crazy as that sounds. I don't think you're supposed to, but man, it would be nice. Like, if we could keep both of these Shirahoshis. Oh, wow, he does want to counter. Okay. I see the vision. I see the vision. We need to whittle down Enrico's hand. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. And, you know, we know this is a turn where Enrico wants to swing big. Honestly, I think this was maybe a mistake from Enrico not just playing this 10 drop and swinging 2-0. I mean, I know that Hervoye is not countering this very frequently, but there's no reason to give him the opportunity to counter it with 1 card. So to be honest, I think this is a game that maybe Enrico is making a couple small slip-ups, and even though he's drawing well, maybe there's a world where Hervoye can come back into this game. Hervoye going into his 10 Dawn turn next turn. Enrico thinking about this is, it's reminding me of when I first got into the game, maybe a month or 2 after. I'm playing ranked sim, and I'm like thinking, you know, I'm thinking, and I tell the person in the sim chat thinking, and I low-key think about it for a while, like 3+ minutes probably, and I'm playing Lucci, and then I play A-Class Gecko Moira. And then the person calls me a slur and is like, no way you thought that long just to play Gecko Moria. and then he rage quit. And, you know, low-key, that's kind of what Enrico did right there. He was probably thinking about whether or not he wanted to use a spell and awaken, to be fair. And I think he was correct to not do that. I'm going to say, though, us getting to hand rip Enrico 2 more times here with these double Shirahoshis is absolutely nasty work. I mean, I do have a lot of fears about us losing this game eventually to a Roger as Hervoye. Like, I think that's something that could really easily happen. But... And I think the reason that can happen actually is specifically because we had to take that second damage. If we were at 3 here, honestly, I could see a world where we say Hervoye is in the lead right now, where he's the favorite to win this game. I definitely think Enrico, based on his hand structure, having the 8-10, having the 9, I think he's for sure supposed to win this game. But he's going to need the Roger. And he's going to need, you know, to play well from this point forward. Are we missing? We're missing Mars. That's why we're doing this. Okay. Yeah, we are missing Mars. We have everyone besides Mars, so... Very fortunate that we found the Mars there. Very unfortunate that we had to go digging for it. To be honest, I think we're just going to use these 2 Shirahoshi effects and then we're going to play the 10 drop and pass. To be honest, though, low key, it would actually not surprise me to see Hervoye play the Mars and pass. I actually think that would be a really heads-up play. I actually think that would be a really, really heads-up play. I'm not sure it's the correct play. It really depends on the number of cards in Enrico's hand, but if Hervoye wants to play this as a really long game, I think, you know, just whittling down this hand of Enrico with these Shirahoshis, not getting rid of them off the field, could actually be really, really good for Hervoye. I actually think just putting this Mars on the board and passing could be a very heads-up play, and I think he's thinking about it. This would be a really cool line, actually. This would be a tremendous line. You know, there is the problem that if you have the 10 cost, playing the 10 cost is basically 99% of the time the correct play. So it's very possible that it's the correct play here. I'm sure Hervoye is... Okay, it looks like he's just playing the 10 cost. I'm sure he's counting. He's counting the next couple turns, trying to figure out if he will get more cards out of Enrico's hand by playing this or not. And he has elected that it will. Oh, he's just going to park it. Yo, that was not on my radar. Okay. I think this is actually, yo, this is kind of a scheist game. This is actually a scheist game. That was not something I was considering. Hervoye, if he does a lot of homework, should know that Enrico is on 3 Red Rock, but I believe we've already seen 2 pitched. Meaning that if Hervoye thinks Enrico is only on 2, then he knows that this is completely safe and can never be red rocked. My fear here is the fact that we're going to take 2 damage. That's my fear here. I feel like parking this 10 cost is like really opening us up to taking some damage. Okay. The Shirahoshi gonna die, of course. Yeah, if I'm Enrico, I am full ignoring this second Shirahoshi. And I imagine we're gonna see an Uta hit the board. Uta getting to block this 12 off of the Elders is pretty sick. Okay, we're going to Rad double 1. And then we're going to block. And then we're going to go 12 and we're going to take a damage. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. This was such an interesting game, actually. These Shirahoshis did get actually truly infinity cards out of Enrico's hand. I mean, he hand-ripped him for 5 with these 2 Shirahoshis. We hand-ripped Enrico for 5. We hand-ripped ourselves for 3, essentially. Okay, gonna go 5 at the Ezo. Of course, we're gonna let that go. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and leader skill. I mean, I'm sure we are not thrilled with this Uta hitting the board. If this Uta didn't hit the board, there's worlds where we could actually bomb one of these 10 costs. Because we really don't want to swing at life here, to be completely honest. It would not surprise me to see us go 14 at a 10 cost, crack it, then go something like 12 after reducing. But even that is not great because of the standing one. Yeah. God, I actually really like the way Hervoy plays this deck. I feel like he is doing a lot of plays that most players would not, which is really neat. And other than the 2 small missteps from Enrico before, I have enjoyed the way he's been playing as well. Oh, 10 cost, pitch 10 cost. We're going to go ahead and Saturn here, look at top 5. And not grabbing a 10 cost. Okay, we have another one in our hand. So we know that that one that we just passed up on is the last one in the deck. I wonder if he's going to try and park another one. I think that would make a lot of sense. Okay, nope. Gonna do what I originally said, which is go 12 at 10. However, we do have the standing Whitebeard, so we can just block counter. Oh, wow. Interesting. I do not think I agree with that. I mean, what was this swing? This swing was he put 6, so it was a 13. Maybe I'm missing something, but I feel like block countering there would have been fairly reasonable. I mean, having the Uta on board just means that later we can get out of a swing that would take 2 cards rather than 1. And, you know, when we start running low on cards like this, just every single card matters. Yeah, like here we actually... We have game, right? If we keep the Uta, we low-key kind of guaranteed win the game, regardless of what buttons we push. But imagine we have the Uta, we can go 8-9 here, go up to 10k leader, we leave the Uta standing, and then there's just no split the opponent can ever do to kill us. And we get to turn all of these 12 sideways. I don't know if he had the 8-9 in his hand when he did that. Maybe he drew the 8 cost spell for turn. I really don't know. I know he had the 9 cost already in hand. It's very possible he drew the 8 cost spell and he didn't know that would be available to him. But even regardless of that, I mean, I'm not tripping, right? There's 6 Dawn. So yeah, that was just a 13. We could have just block countered. Yep. And we are going to take the life. And we're going to boost our leader by 4. Yeah, this game's looking pretty chopped for Hervoye, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I mean, Hervoye did take that extra damage earlier. But to be honest, that shit did not matter. Hmm. Okay. How do we win this game as Hervoye? When the opponent takes their last life like this, we know basically without a shadow of a doubt that they have Roger. I don't know. My instinct says we go 12-12. That shit is awful. If we go 10-10-11, that shit is awful. 10-10-11 requires... I mean, they're the same thing. They're actually the same thing because of the way leader skill works, right? If you go 10-10-11, the opponent blocks the 11. 10, they give you a 1k. 10, they give you leader skill. If you go 12-12, they block 1. The other one, they give you leader skill 1k. So they're exactly the same. They take the exact same cards. We also do not have another 10 cost. Oh, wow. We're using stage here. So we are confirmed not going for it. Oh, we do have a 10 cost. Okay. So we're just praying, I guess, at this point for no... I'm sure Hervoye knew that those 2 rad beams were there. Unfortunately, we don't even have the Dawn to do it. Okay, so this game is over. Obviously, he slams Roger and Hervoye is dead. 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000. I am wondering if we could get a spread of Hervoye's hand. Okay. What happens if Enrico doesn't have Roger? I mean, surely we're just still dead, bro. I mean, come on. Like, let's say he literally just splits. 12-12-12. He has 10 Dawn left. 10, 16, 26. 3 12s, 2 13s. We block the 13s. We have to counter out of 3 12s. We go like 4 2 2. Do we even have 2 2s? Maybe this is a 2 right here. So we go 4 2 2. This is a 2 here. So that's to get out of the first 12. The second 12, we do like this and this. That brings us up to +6. That brings us up to 11 plus another 2. That gets us out of the second one. And then at this point, we've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our cards. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which means we have to get out of the last 12 with 3 cards, which is not possible. So as much as it was impossible for Hervoye to get there, like genuinely, like this shit was never, ever, 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 ever getting there. I mean, fuck, he even gave us a 1k, bro. All right, Hervoye had no choice. If Enrico leader skills here instead of giving a 1k, or if he blocks, I wonder if Hervoye would have gone for it. Because in that situation, I think you have to. But once Enrico clicks the 1K button, you're just like legally not allowed to go for it. Even though you know you die. Like, you have to like put your opponent on go for it, I guess. Huh. Kind of an interesting game. I mean, to be frank, anyone could see this result coming, you know. Enrico went second, very good player. He drew the cards he needed to, right? He went 10, 10, 10, 9. Roger. Like, he's going to win those games, right? He didn't miss any turns. He's going to win those games. But even regardless of that, I think there was a lot of nuance in this. It was really more about the journey, not the destination. So, anyways, thank you all so much for watching. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.